And we got picks and bans ready for game 3 of the set here between Burrito and Papis. But I gotta agree, Creed was really the guardian angel for Warchi in that last game. In particular, that fight around the tier 2 tower where he looked dead to rights. Creed rotates in on the back end and really sets him up. So let's see if they let Warchi take that Hui one more time.
I wouldn't be surprised to see Burrito maybe try and strip it away, but I actually really like this banning phase from Burrito, eliminating the Raijin and the Circuit, which I feel as though that Circuit for Dheylo was way too problematic. It didn't really seem like it because you didn't see Dheylo's name popping up too often with the kill secure, but if you took a look at his actual score line, he had so many different assists because there were just so many different situations that he kept working himself into the backline for.
Yeah, Dheylo had a huge impact on that game. It just so happened that everyone else was playing so well, too. We didn't even get a chance to talk about him, but a Muzen Cobb locked in for Burrito. That's been banned both games so far. Finally, Burrito able to take it first.
And it's going to be the Hawa selection actually from the Papis, not wanting to deal with it from Dzoni any longer.
Yep.
But smart response by Burrito, picking up that Chulainn straight away, just looking to kind of combat pressure with pressure.
Ao Kuang's still available. We know Dzoni likes it. That's something they even banned in game 1 and try and take it away from him. So he might look to pick that one up. Chulainn and Sylvanus, though, the pickups for Burrito, giving him some control here. Even a little bit of sustain comes out from that Sylvanus pick.
It seems as though the Papis are really just trying to take away the mid and jungle factors that Burrito were running away with. And I like the decision to ban the Fafnir and not really wanting to have to worry about that on the top of their Helbois.
They don't want any surfing here. No silver surfing from Fafnir. Yeah, okay. Silver surfing, yeah.
That happened.
I'll go with it, yeah.
I can't blame him though, because that is certainly one of the picks that can be incredibly problematic for Hawa. For anybody who doesn't know, the Brutalize does follow Hawa through his ultimate, on top of the fact that it makes him immune to that knockup. So Water Spout, no effect other than a little bit of damage, but early on, Fafnir all but invites somebody trying to stick with him when he's brutalizing.
Who ye selected for Papis, but Thoth also banned out. I like this ban, trying to make sure that they don't have that huge impact mid laner that Thoth provides, but Zeus. So, still a huge impact mid laner, never mind.
This is a very aggressive draft right now from Burrito, and the same could be said for the Papis, honestly. Going for a little bit more double hunter oriented, and I say that because Soul can kind of play the part of a magical ADC. Once those in-hands start coming online, you build up your Fafnir, heat passive, and exactly, that Coerce in the Draconic form is just going to make a huge impact against objectives. The question is, will Burrito allow that team fight to happen?
The last pick for Papis here, too, was that Nemesis. Someone who can be known to give Sylvanus some troubles. He is pretty immobile, so shredding his protection, slowing him down even more, sets up all the damage that Papis have less to blow out for you. They got a lot of it, so that's something that could easily be coming at him if Nemesis chooses to go after that Sylvanus.
And it's going to come down to this between these two teams, whether it's 7th or 8th place. Hard time to figure it out, but this is really the stage for Burritos or Papis to establish themselves as being better or not than the other.
That's what we're going to be doing. We got that game for you. Game 3, man, it's so exciting. We needed one more moment to bring in here for you. There's some Smite. There's some Game 3. Sibi's happy for it, too, as we get to find out between Burrito and Papis which one's going to take that 7th seed, who's going to go up against the Challenger Circuit, and who doesn't have to worry about it. That's what we're going to see here from Burrito and Papis, as Creed is going to take Hebo solo.
And FaraKrik is actually looking to start off maybe in that duo lane with the Zeus pick, so that could be Kespainify in the mid lane instead.
That's what it's looking like, and we've seen a Muzen Cobb do a really good job there in that middle lane. But I want to talk to you a little bit here. What's Hebo trying to do? What's Creed going to be trying to do, particularly in this solo lane matchup against Sibi, who's got the Chulainn with Hebo?
AFK farm and hope that he doesn't get montaged by Sibi and Dzoni. That's pretty much what it comes down to, but for Creed, it's really easy to place a lot of pressure emphasis onto a Hawa, which is why we see him opting for the Aegis. But the problem here is that having Aegis, sure, you buy yourself a couple of frames of immunity because you're immune to damage, but you can't avoid the setup from that pull-in off of Dzoni or even Sibi's knockup in that ultimate.
Dheylo and Dracomarino rotate over, though, to make Creed's life a little bit easier. The speed buff was cleared. They dropped the blue form as well. Hebo actually gets more from his passive the more he's rotating through those skills. So the blue buff in particular going to be pretty important. Fusify looking for the root, finds it right when that disapparate form was over. It forced out the Aegis, and the pull back in was hot from Fusify. Kespainify gets first blood in this game, and Dzoni follows it up against Creed. Burrito off to a great start.
Well, it wasn't first blood, though, onto Creed, but either way, a 2-0 lead already for Burrito, really putting this pressure composition to work. Great teamwork out of that Russian duo between Fusify and Kespainify, really just going ham in the mid lane.
It was really rough for MrNazer to try and find a way to rotate back in. The positioning from Fusify was so aggressive. He waited right for that disapparate to be over, got the root down, got a bunch of damage, waited on Aegis to be over, and hits an excellent pull. That pull is not easy to pull him back in, and they delete him in the middle lane. So getting off to a quick early start, already up 1,000 gold at 2 minutes from those first 2 kills.
But that's the worst part about it all, is that MrNazer actually used his Aegis, and the shell was used as well by Draco. And one more time, Creed barely holding on to life, but there's a creep wave coming in. I would not be surprised to maybe see Burrito try and pressure him out a little bit further here. Dzoni and Sibi both thinking about it heavily.
Dheylo was rotating in for him to try and provide some backup for him if they did try to go in a little bit more aggressive. But Creed having a real rough time. None of that AFK farming that he was looking to do this game. Sibi and Dzoni are giving him a hard time. Dzoni has his ultimate available, though. He's already level 5. Look at Dheylo, only level 3. That's why they're playing so aggressive here under the tower. They know they've got the ult advantage.
But they burned out that shield from the Nemesis, meaning that they won't have to worry about that reflect. And Creed, he's still level 3. That is a rough place to be. He doesn't have a quick way back to lane. He actually spent 800 gold just to pick up that Swift Wing, which is only going to delay his power spike a little bit longer. Speaking of which, Fusify going straight in onto MrNazer.
Blink in, and that had the ultimate from FaraKrik, who's 2 levels up on MrNazer. So they're using their XP lead in the middle lane as well to try and set up some kills. Dheylo going to have to back up from the pressure from Sibi and Dzoni in this game already. Looking like the pressure is in Burrito's hands, but only for now. They got to keep pushing.
This is what I love out of Burrito, though. They draft an early game composition, and they do everything in the early game. They are putting so much pressure across the map, and that's exactly what you need out of this draft.
Now Burrito going to look for the invade on the speed buff. Dheylo's here, though. Dheylo actually working on those back Harbies. Sibi commits the Rage Form ultimate because he knows he's about to fall out of that form in a moment, so might as well. They steal away the speed buff. MrNazer again in trouble. Aegis, though, is enough to keep him from falling from the ult. But here's Fusify coming around the back. Wrath the Terra for style points, and he gets the kill.
Dropping the heal just because he knew that there was going to be a couple of members from Papis following up behind him, but no immediate danger. Just everybody a little bit too far behind from the Papis to really try and punish Fusify, even though he was between T1 and T2 tower.
Now the blue buff falls for the Papis as well. That gets invaded away by Dzoni and Sibi, and they continue to control this solo side of the map. That's where they drafted their pressure. That's where Papis had the least pressure with the Nemesis and Habwa early start, and they're running away with it.
Well, they're really just hoping that Creed can hit level 5 here soon enough.
Is he still not?
But still not level 5. He's actually 3 levels down to Sibi now, who's just taking full advantage of this lane matchup. Creed now just hitting that level 5 marker, but already taking about 40% of his health, actually backing the base because of it.
And even though he's level 5 now, he's still going to be 800 gold behind because he invested in that Swift Wing. He's going to be feeling the repercussions of this rough early start for a good while over there in that solo lane. Sibi will be free to push in the wave and start rotating in, so even MrNazer needs to start being careful about his potential presence.
I hope that Dheylo thoroughly enjoyed that speed buff that he started the game off with, because I have no idea, and he probably doesn't either, when he's going to see that speed buff ever again.
Now, Dzoni and Sibi have all the control over there. They might not ever, they really might not give him another one all game. Over here in the duo lane, though, we haven't gotten much of a chance to talk about Warchi and Kespainify because all the action's been on the solo lane side of the map. Sibi actually gets deleted. Dheylo and Creed, good big return kill. They needed that one.
Getting to see what that double ult can do between the Nemesis ultimate and Creed's. That was quite a lot of damage that Sibi probably wasn't anticipating. If he wasn't dropping wards before in the lane, he might want to start now after that one.
That was a rough rotation. He did not have Dzoni there to help follow up, who'd come over to the mid lane. FaraKrik getting stunned out in mid lane, but no immediate follow-up is available from the rest of Papis, so he's able to just slowly drift away.
Knowing that that double ultimate had already been expended in that solo lane just means that even if there's a little bit of pressure from Draco, FaraKrik can still play it relatively safe in the mid lane.
Fusify continuing to play aggressive in the mid lane, up in the face of MrNazer on the tree. He's got to watch out though. Soul's on like fire, right? She might burn the tree down. So I mean that's something that he might need to watch out for in that matchup. I don't think.
Oh, MrNazer actually going into the penetration boots, kind of concerned about that mobility.
Yeah.
And that's just one of the things that you have to keep in mind.
Now, though, the knockup comes out from Sibi. Huge to set up a lot of return damage. Fusify gets credit for that one. Fusify actually getting a double kill onto the support Sylvanus. He actually has 3 of the kills so far in this game, so he's going to be way ahead of Dracomarino. And one more time, let's invade the speed buff because Dheylo doesn't get one.
You'd be surprised what that dot damage can do. Speaking of which, with the style pull onto MrNazer, now just looking to follow it up. Nowhere to go, though. No immunity this time around, and the Aegis is going to buy him a little bit of time, almost taking his life with that detonate.
That was 400 with the 3 stacked detonate charges as well. It was just rough for MrNazer to try and deal with it. He manages somehow, though, to get away with just a little bit of health, but this left side of the map is just a nightmare for him. Dheylo, though, gets the return kill off the damage from Creed and that Hebo ultimate, so that's going to be at least a return kill on the Dzoni. Sibi trying to get back to FaraKrik, who does not have his ultimate. We saw him use it in mid lane, but that's enough for them to fall off. The rest of Papis back off, and Burrito are happy to just get away with that with 1 kill.
And Burrito still have the lead here. They've established a pretty solid lead as well for it not even being at the 10-minute mark yet. Actually at about 2,500 gold ahead of the Papis, as well as just stretching that experience lead as much as possible right now. 3-level lead in the mid lane between FaraKrik and MrNazer. That is an intense gap disparity between these two teams for levels.
It's even worse than the one between Sibi and Creed at this point, so that's pretty impressive that they've been able to, get away with, able to get that much of a lead. Warchi committing his ultimate though into Kespainify, who makes it out. Wrath of Terror comes out to knock Warchi up into the air. Ultimate came out from MrNazer to create some space as FaraKrik continues to zoom around, but Johnny's the one rotating back in, not ready to give up on this fight just yet, and I think Warchi rip in pieces. Dzoni cleans that one up.
And Burrito finally able to do this game what they weren't able to do in the last one, and that is take the life of Warchi. Speaking of which, that death on a Warchi now means that there's free pressure onto this Gold Fury, and Dzoni, he's not even done yet. He was in the tower, diving. Papis, he's going to lose his life for it, finally, but that Gold Fury still went in favor of Burrito.
And that Gold Fury was big for Burrito. Now they're going to be up about 3,500 gold already here at the 9-minute mark. That's a pretty substantial lead as they take the Gold Fury, and as you said, they've got a real good chance of winning. Now that Warchi's plot armor is worn off, apparently he can die again.
And Kespainify, he's back in the base right now, meaning that he's probably got those Devourer gauntlets up and running, looking to just put some stacks inside of them now. And it seems as though he's going to add some more stacks to those stacks because he's trying to build into that Hide of the Urchin, I'm sure.
Hide of the Urchin, going to be good to give him a little bit more defense over there. Something we see come out a lot for AMCs nowadays. Again, Creed, though, a little bit behind in his build. He has the Pen Boots online, but that's about it. Already starting to work on his magical defense item here is Sibi as he looks to maybe get like a Genji's Guard built up or something along those lines.
And you mentioned it earlier with Fusify having 3 out of the 6 kills for Burrito, but it's just that dot damage from that Sylvanus ultimate as well as just the Wisp. It can do a surprising amount of damage.
Another invade on the speed buff for Burrito. Dheylo having a hard time with his own jungle being constantly stripped away from him. Looks like Papis were looking for a little bit of return invade on the duo side, but none of the buffs were up, though. Could be trouble for Kespainify. Everyone's here. Dracomarino jumps over, doesn't land on him, but gets positioning behind him. Kespainify just kind of walks away, though. Ultimate committed from MrNazer, and Kespainify is yelling into the comms, "I got 3 in my lane."
But look at that Hive. That Hive made all the difference there for Kespainify. No one from the Papis took it out, so he just got that added movement speed, but he still just went a little bit too far forward, kind of feeling himself after escaping. Fusify is going to blink in, drop that Sylvanus ultimate. Unfortunately, it might have just cost him his life because, again, he's surrounded by 3 members. No, it's actually going to be FaraKrik taking out MrNazer on the backside, and now FaraKrik taking out Dracomarino as well.
And that's scary. FaraKrik is already where a lot of Burrito's lead is, and he just got 2 more kills to put on top of it. So now Warchi's still hanging around. Get out of there, Warchi, with FaraKrik looking for more blood.
I think Kespainify kind of forgot about the fact that he only lived because he went super deep past his T1 tower. So once he had that one more wave mentality. It happens to the best of hunters. And unfortunately, it just happened to Kespainify right then and there. Still, great rotation by FaraKrik just to make sure that they don't lose too much off of it.
I'm going to trust you on that one, Taco, because he should not have walked up into that. But Kespainify is going to be all right, though. 1-1-1. Got the Muzen cob. Still looking pretty even with Warchi here in this game. A little bit, only has the armored cloak now, though, so still not quite finished on that Hide of the Urchin. So a little bit waiting to get those stacks online, but still more aggressive over here on the solo side. Now Dzoni, once again, trying to fight the world, has to run away from 4.
I think he heard you talking about all this plot armor and just decided to build some for himself just in case it didn't work out. But sure enough, actually a Portal Demon attempt by Burrito, and everybody from Papis seems a little bit distracted. They're not even paying any attention to this being a possibility.
Well, why would Kespainify be here? That must be what they're thinking. Dzoni trying to fight 2 to keep the rest of the Papis away, and it's actually working. The Portal Demon gets snuck away. No one expecting that call.
And Sibi's kind of just being his own man about it in the solo lane. And really no one to try and oppose him until that ultimate is dropped by Dheylo. But Creed just off the mark with that water spout. He was able to flip away out of it.
Just as that water spout came out, so perfect timing. And look at this. Dzoni and Fusify use the Portal Demon to rotate it on the back. Creed, though, is able to back away, so they don't get anything from it, but they're here just in time, one more time, for that speed buff invade that they love.
But they did exactly what they needed to do, and that was force Creed back to base. He might have that Swift Wing, but he was already down the 800 gold, and on top of that, hold that thought, though, Dzoni maybe getting blown up, actually just trying to focus on this speed buff. Even after dropping his purification beads, he's not ready to let this one go.
No, he is not. Sibi is here to help him clean it up, and they do. He only has to give up the purification beads for it, which I'm sure he would say is worth all day.
Every jungler in the world would say that's worth as long as they get it. Well, of course, other than Dheylo. Dheylo's probably just internally raging right now, watching that one get stripped away for probably the millionth time this game. But still, Burrito just spreading the pressure evenly across the map, and now Warchi actually making the rotation because Kespainify hasn't been in that lane in years.
Now Dracomarino up into the dragon form, lands down, tries to root Fusify in place. MrNazer's very low in the back, but Fusify gets locked under the tower. Dzoni also cleans up Dheylo over here in the 2v2. That's happening in solo lane, and they win that one in favor. Drops the Thunder Crash on top of the tower, but doesn't get too much more damage out of it, and the tower actually still going. Kespainify uses the ult.
Kespainify actually got a really strong stinger there onto MrNazer, forcing him into that Disapparate farm and to back away from the fight. Doesn't want to drop his Aegis just yet, but check out Dzoni, so aggressive.
Wherever you
getting
land,
that
buddy.
Teleport down onto Warchi. Wasn't able to get the style kill to collect him in the end, but still, that aggression from Burrito just goes to show how confident they're feeling in this match.
And Burrito, that's the perfect word to describe what they're doing right now, is confident. Their shot calling has been excellent this game. It's shot calls I haven't seen from them all split. These types of calls that they're making, like sneaking away the Portal Demon, like the aggression that they're showing over here in the solo lane. This is the Burrito that I've been wanting to see all split. And if they can bring this into the gauntlet, they're going to be tough to deal with.
Exactly, and it's looking like they're trying to set themselves up for a little bit better seeding as well. Papis probably sweating a little bit right now. 6,000 gold to separate these two. Actually, a little bit, right around 7,000 now to separate these two teams. And it's mostly the experience that I'm taking a look at, particularly that between Sibi and Creed. We knew that Creed was going to try and just play it safe, AFK farm underneath that tower line, but Burrito have not made that an easy task to accomplish. And in fact, it's actually been Sibi going so deep, and Creed, it took him 15 minutes, almost 15 and a half minutes to finish building the Warlock Sash.
Hasn't even started stacking it yet. And you pointed out earlier, the real trouble in the XP lead to go along with Sibi, for, or rather Creed, is MrNazer in mid lane, how far behind FaraKrik he is, who's sitting 2-0-1, already has his Warlock Sash stacking, and has the Obsidian Shard. Warchi's beads forced out by Dzoni, does get the return stun, drops down the Suns. Kespainify's here now with Dracomarino coming in tow. That's going to be the signal for them to back off, though they do have Fusify and FaraKrik in the wings.
That's Susano, though, just a little bit too mobile to get caught out by that ultimate from the Hu Yi. Even the Suns aren't enough to slow him down, and Sibi, again, just all over the map on this solo lane side. Absolutely relentless when it comes to invading the Papis buffs.
That's what Sibi and Dzoni have been doing such a great job of all game, keeping Dheylo down in particular. This Nemesis has not gotten to be a big part of anything that wasn't a solo lane fight, as Creed now is in a lot of trouble. Ultimate comes out to Muzen. The Aegis is going to keep him alive for the moment, but with 4 members of the Papis of our Burrito here, there's no way Creed survives. Tier 1 tower falls on the right side too, but it looks like they're going to try and get the Tier 1 in mid in response.
That is just worst case scenario every single time, though, for Creed. That's not even about positioning. That's just, you're kind of just left to die, and there's really nothing else his team could do about it. Kespainify with a great Aegis to avoid that supernova damage, but now it's going to be the follow-up from Dzoni as he's trying to commit.
Kespainify maybe getting a little bit too bold one more time, goes into 3 members. Fusify, though, locking down Dracomarino for the moment. That's going to set up 5 members to surround him, and the Dragon goes back to base. They've got him caged. Warchi, you might have to run, sir. 5 members of Burrito are here, and Portal Demon's going to spawn in just a moment, and that looks to be the call.
And Creed, he's back up and running now. He just respawned, but unfortunately for the Papis, they are really missing out on that secondary frontlining factor.
Yeah.
And that has been making all the difference in these fights, I would have to say. Burrito, they've got Sibi to rely on, then they have Fusify just in case. But having Sibi, who can just so easily jump in front of everybody from the Papis and then back off whenever he wants to, as opposed to a Habwa that's kind of just there. If he gets a kill, great. But he hasn't been able to do any of that so far.
I think they wanted to be Dheylo. Look, he's gone to the Mystical Mail for his 2nd item, so not really going for another damage on him. Those ticks do some damage for him in those engagements too, but this way he can respond to a lot of the physical damage coming out from just about everyone but FaraKrik.
But that's just so much gold to expend into an item that you're not going to really get the full benefits out of. As a Nemesis, you want to go for that full burst potential. That's why you tend to see the stone-cutting swords, the Jotuns, the Heartseekers, everything that can deal damage and not just rely on an item that's going to magical damage you from ticks.
Dheylo does go ahead and pick up the Aegis. He hadn't gotten a 2nd relic just yet. I think he was the last one to pick up his relic in the whole game. So now he's got Aegis to help him out a little bit more in these engagements and increase that survivability, maybe try and be that front line that Papis are missing with Creed, who can't be in the front of these engagements. Already been the target, but 3 members of Burrito are rotating in. Everyone hits their escape switches, pulling back in. Dheylo, though, is Dzoni. Aegis keeps him alive for the moment. Sun's rain down on top, gets deleted by FaraKrik. Pull doesn't hit anyone. Sibi actually blown up underneath the tier 2 tower. Took a little bit more damage than he wanted.
And that was a great knockout following into the ultimate by Creed. Able to trade that out 1 for 1, and they took out Sibi to boot. So that's a pretty important kill considering how much zoning potential Sibi was providing for his team. But Burrito aren't done just yet. And I mean, tell me we haven't seen this one a million times already. It's just going to be the speed buff getting taken away by Dzoni.
At this point, Dheylo doesn't consider there being a speed buff on the map. He doesn't think about it that way. It just makes things a little bit easier. Dzoni, though, over fighting 2. Dracomarino very low. They do drop the the Fire Giant. They don't continue putting damage into it, so Papis can at least take some solace in the fact that that had to be let go.
FaraKrik's actually relatively low right now. If there was a chance for the Papis to look for a fight, it was probably then, except you can't ever really count on Burrito because they did have Dzoni and Fusify right around the corner to help peel for him in case they looked for any sort of aggression onto their Zeus.
And look at that damage chart. Everyone from Burrito, at least all their damage dealers, ahead of everyone else on Poppy. Only Fusify sitting down at the bottom, and he's been doing a great job standing up for his team and showing up where he needs to. Papis, though, looking to start up the Gold Fury. Dzoni is here, though, as is Sibi to try and have a save. Pulls in 3 members, gets off the spin. It's Sibi, though, that knocks up 3 members. FaraKrik drops the ultimate on top. They're going to look to finish, bursting down the Gold Fury, and they actually get secured by the Papis. MrNazer cleans that one up. Dheylo, though, in trouble. Fusify blinks in, roots him in place. Sibi's here. He's got a little bit more root in place. A good pull, though, brings him back into damage. Nemesis field keeps him alive just for the moment. The wisps are ticking, and Kespainify cleans it up.
Kespainify able to find it with, I believe that was the bees. It might have been a bluestone proc. Either way, Dheylo is out for the count. And now with the Papis still having all 5 members up, I wouldn't be surprised to see them maybe look for that T1 tower in duo. It is standing kind of low, but instead it's going to be Fusify getting aggressed on.
And Fusify does end up falling. Warchi able to clean that one up, sitting 3-1-2, still playing well for the Papis despite the lead that Burrito had been able to amass at this point. Dzoni trying to look for a little bit more, but has to back off. And talk with the end of that, Papis did get the Gold Fury in the end. Was that engagement at least worth it for them?
That was a huge engagement for the Papis because they were able to re-secure it. After they leashed it, Burrito, recognizing how low that objective was, started it back up again immediately. We're actually looking to take that one for themselves, but then that Supernova by MrNazer was actually the calling card for Papis that helped them secure that objective.
And that's a big part of it. FaraKrik positions his ultimate almost only on the Gold Fury and really doesn't hit anyone else. And they've been relying a lot on FaraKrik's damage in these fights. If maybe they look for another way to secure the Gold Fury or at least get the Gold Fury, that fight might go a little in their favor, but instead they miss out on that damage and the objective. Papis close it back up to only about 7,000 or so that Burrito are in the lead, but they are up 13-8 in kills too.
And again, the Papis just really trying to do what they can to buy their time. They just got to wait this one out. If they're able to wait it out until the late game when their composition can really come online, then they'll be in a great place.
Speed buff taken away one more time. Burrito, man.
That's speed buff number 2 for Dzoni. That is no longer the Papis jungle. That's just extended jungle farm for Dzoni.
Yeah, that's just his up there. Yeah, that's his buff. He's enjoying it this game too, getting to have 2 of them. Looks like they're trying to pull back the Portal Demon. Everyone's here from Papis, though, so we might have an actual fight this time, but they're bursting it so fast, and Sibi's doing a good job zoning everyone away. Papis never get a chance to contest the actual objective off of a great zoning from Sibi, and they're even looking to start up the Fire Giants as they know they can come right back in with the Portal.
Feeling pretty good about this one. Sibi, though, he wanted it back. He's sitting at half health. Probably safer to just back off, buy, spend whatever gold they have, and then immediately come back through that portal. It's not like anybody from the Papis is willing to hang around to try and catch somebody out of position from Burrito.
Now with all 5 members here healthy and having spent any gold they had in their pockets, they're ready to start with this fight. Dzoni goes immediately for MrNazer on the side of the fight and finds him, forces him to disaporate for him early on in the fight. Fusify's here, knocks him up. Aegis, though, to immune the damage. The root doesn't come out just yet. Warchi drops down the Suns on top of Fusify, who uses the Thorns to run away. Actually, the ultimate's dropped on the Fusify, and Dracomarino takes away the Fire Giant. This fight could go heavily in favor of the Papis now, as FaraKrik falls. Kespainify now is low. Aegis ticking on him as well.
What might be the throw of the year so far. Warchi just cleaning up everybody from Burrito, about to get his 4th kill onto Sibi if his team will allow her, if he's able to find it. And it is going to be the quadra kill for the Papis Hunter Warchi. Unofficial quadra, but still a quadra at that. Dzoni, the lone defender from Burrito, but the Papis have other plans in mind, immediately sieging down that mid lane tower.
They've got Soul, they've got Hui, they've got a Fafnir. This might be a Phoenix here for him. I don't know if there's any way that just Dzoni can defend against it. Papis are going to push down this mid lane Phoenix. Dzoni's here, but he can't afford to walk up into this much damage. I don't believe they have a minion wave, so there are no backdoor protections, but it doesn't matter. That Phoenix does fall. Papis clean it up easy.
Dracomarino.
Oh, yeah.
That is the name that the Burrito did not want to see popping up as far as stealing that objective is concerned. I mean, it's just insane to think that a Fafnir would be the one to secure the damage. It was the Fafnir that probably just dropped that hammer stun, and it did enough damage. It seemed as though he got his hammer off in time, right at the right moment. A little bit of luck, but sometimes that's all it takes to turn a game in your favor.
Now I'm going to trust you here, Miss Chair 2. Is that a misplay by Burrito or just a star play by Dracomarino?
Oh, a little bit of both, but it was a severe misplay by Burrito to not secure that Fire Giant, especially when they're losing it to a Fafnir and they have a Zeus on their team.
And they committed so much to the zoning as well. I almost wasn't even looking at the Fire Giant anymore because they put so much into zoning out the rest of the Papis, but Dracomarino comes in, he takes it. You can see that sharp downtick on the Golden XP chart, now only 2,300 in their favor, and that gets all but normalized by this Fire Giant.
The 3 ultimates were expended into MrNazer. You had the Susano, Sylvanus, and Sibi's ultimate for the goal line. Speaking of which, Fusify looking to go back in right now, trying to force out Warchi, actually. Thorns getting chased down instead, but it's not going to make a difference. Kespainify getting poked out incredibly low. Dracomarino looking to secure the kill onto Fusify, and he'll find it.
Supernova came up big in that engagement. Dheylo looking for more, though, trying to chase down Dzoni. They've got the water carpet to give him a little bit extra speed. Creed's here now, and he's got the damage. Dzoni falls down. Warchi going aggressive, and Sibi, the double bounce, comes back in and catches him out. Drops the Suns on the FaraKrik and pushes him out as well. Papis are activated.
Talk about the calculations.
Oh yeah, calculated.
That was some serious geometry there by Warchi. And he found the kill off of it. And that's all that matters. 3-for-1 wipe from Burrito, who looked like they were going to have the strong end in that engagement, but I think they're forgetting about the fact that the Papis are dealing damage now.
Yeah, that is the biggest surprise, right? Creed comes in and does a lot of damage, and you haven't had to worry about him all game. I think MrNazer Supernova in particular came through that team fight and brought so many health bars down low. Now it's Papis, though, on the backs of some excellent team play, who are the ones in control. Tier 2 tower and left falls. Don't forget, Phoenix in mid has fallen, and now Fire Giant falling off in 25 seconds, and they're going to be looking to pull it up one more time.
Everybody from the Papis just shouting "Si se puede" right now, trying to close out this victory, and whether or not they'll be able to turn it, I mean, they've already done a significant job at turning this game around pretty heavily. This
has been real impressive work here from the Papis so far. I think what happened here, Burrito was doing really impressive shot calling early on in the game. What happened to that?
It really just crumbled at that Fire Giant engagement. They invested so much to trying to not only zone, but also take out MrNazer at the same time. They weren't able to do, well, they managed to zone the Papis, but they didn't zone, apparently, the one person who mattered, which was Draco. And again, that Fafnir play was just astounding.
FaraKrik did get his beads burned just now, though, having to avoid the pressure from Papis, who are coming in 5-man strong. Burrito, though, they're not looking to give up any part of this for free. They're jumping in as Sibi gets the knockup on the 3 members. Fusify goes in for the Wrath of Terra, does knock up Warchi, but it's too much damage even through the Thorns. Warchi cleans up Sibi. FaraKrik falls as well. Kespainify also falls to MrNazer. This is turned on its head, Taco. Papis are heavily in control.
Unfortunately for Burrito, Creed is now online. He suffered in the early game, but that doesn't matter when the rest of your team is up and running.
They end?
This is going to be it.
I think they can just end here, Taco. They're pushing down. There's no Phoenix here in the mid lane. Only Johnny's here. We saw this last time, and he really couldn't defend. He's trying to go for Creed, who's really low, and he does end up taking away a big source of magical damage for the Papis, but they send Dheylo to chase him down, and everyone else just DPSs the Titan. And here it is, Papis. Long have you waited? They're ready to go. They've got the Titan taken down 2-1. Papis clean up a 3-game set over Burrito for 7th place.
And just like that, Dracomarino with that Fire Giant steal completely turns that game on its head in favor of the Papis.
That game was so hype, it felt like it was for super regionals, but really it was for 7th. It was for 7th place. So that's what they fought over there. Papis now don't have to worry about that Challenger Cup T. They got their seeding sorted out, but really well played. And like you said, Dracomarino came up big for him at that Fire Giant.
And I mean, the rest of his team's got to be buying him dinner tonight for that play. And again, I mean, congratulations to the Papis. Even though they are still going to be in 7th place, which means relegations, they have a chance to find their own pathing to Supers through the gauntlet.
That's right. Everyone can still make it to Super Regionals, can still make it to Worlds, even though not everyone's going to be in Season 5. So they're all still playing for a lot here. It's not just for seeding. They got a chance to go to Worlds and show that they can actually play, but We still got one more set left here, Taco.
And it's a set that I think most people have been waiting for. Yeah, I know. A lot of you guys really looking forward to that 3-game set from Papis versus Burrito. That was actually way more hype than I was anticipating it to be. But as far as Dig is concerned, I think that this is the matchup that a lot of people have been waiting for.
Yeah, so don't turn that stream off just yet. We got Dig versus Obey coming up next.
Yeah, you are.